I came here to play board games and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum because Brown chewed it all. Welcome back to Table Takes, everybody. Wow, it's December. We are what, 2 weeks, a week and a half away from that very special holiday where everybody gets the board games they've been asking for. I hope you guys have your wish lists nice and full. Um, but if you still need some ideas, you came to the right place because here on Table Takes, we are super excited to tell you all about the new releases, all of the inner workings of the board game industry. But before we can get into all of that, I want to check in with all of our very special hosts and our even more special guests for today. Welcome back, Anita. Thank you for joining us once again. Unfortunately, Peter could not be here, but that just means that we get to have you. So thank you so much. How
Love
have
to
you
be here.
been?
I've been well. I've been working on I've been in commission mode this week. I've been working on some layout for a project that I can't really talk about yet, but I'm very excited for. And yeah, other than that, I've just been sort of vibing.
Awesome. Is your cat with you right now?
He actually just escaped the room. Uh,
Oh,
Probably gone to bother our other host.
oh, good, good. Because when it's business time, we know one thing's for sure. Noir is going to get distracted by a cat. Speaking of which, Noir, how have you been?
I'm distracted by a cat. Oh no, hey everybody. I'm just been vibing this week. Really busy at my grown-up job. So really just when I get home, I play Cyberpunk and veg out.
That's awesome. I haven't played Cyberpunk. Are you playing the really janky one that had a terrible release, but is now like kind of okay because of all the patches?
So it is the comeback story of all time. When Cyberpunk 2077 came out, it was not great, but the developers have stuck with it. We've got two major updates for free, mind you, that added a bunch of cool content to the game. And then there was DLC, which has Idris Elba in it. So of course I had to get it. So yeah, this is a complete different game than than when it first came out. Kind of like No
Wow.
Man's Sky.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking about that one too. Well, I can't wait to hear more about your experiences with Idris Elba and the cyberpunk future that we are headed towards. Bonsai, how have you been this week?
I've been going nuts, specifically pecan nuts, for the holidays. I learned how to make candy pecans, and so I've been experimenting with a variety of different ways to make it. And it is way easier to make than cookies. And did you guys know if you have a 10-month-old, it's really hard to bake? So you have to wait for them to go to sleep, and so you're essentially baking around like 9 p.m. to midnight, all of these holiday cookies and stuff, and you just it's late night baking. It's all you do. So candy pecans are way easier to make, especially if you have a child that is running around and everything. But
The way
yes.
you said that sentence, it made it sound like you were saying that 10 months olds were hard to bake. And I'm like, wait,
No,
what?
no, no,
Fuck?
no, no, no. I'm not no cooking babies. We're not cooking babies here. We're just I mean there is egg. You do use, but they're not for like they're not really babies. It's before babies.
Okay, got it.
All right, it's okay. Well, other than that, you guys can be prepared to getting nuts this Christmas. I'm just throwing my nuts everywhere at people. Uh,
Thank you, Bonsai.
I know. What about you, Jamie? What have you been excited for and doing?
Um, not a lot. I didn't even decorate my apartment for Christmas this year. I have a Christmas tree. I haven't even actually set it up. I'm going away for the holidays, so I'm actually getting packed and ready to head off to Virginia, where my dad and his family live. Um, Really excited to see them again. It's been quite some time, 10 years actually. So this is the first Christmas that I'm spending home for the holidays. So I guess I don't know. I'm curious to see if it's gonna maybe snow out there. How all of my cousins and aunts and uncles have grown since I've seen them. Should be a fun time. What's not gonna be fun is packing all my stuff into luggage and trying to make sure I can get it all there. And don't even get me started on whatever I'm going to be coming back with. My dad's side of the family is huge and they're really into Christmas. So we'll see how that goes. All right, folks, enough about us. Time to get into some juicy headlines. Let's get started with a very special headline here coming to us from Free League, creators of the Walking Dead universe. Anita, take it away.
Yes, Free League is talking about with Chase Carter and Dicebreaker about the Walking Dead universe RPG. Free League is known for other adaptations such as The One Ring, Blade Runner, and Aliens, and they've set their sights on the Walking Dead universe. They're looking to recreate the feel of the popular TV show, and with the success of their other ones, it looks like they're probably on track to do just that. The idea is that while survival may be core to The Walking Dead, long-term campaign play, they want to try to tailor it to individual groups. So you could be a group that's focusing on either like rebuilding society, or if you want to do something smaller, you could be a small band of Robin Hood type people who are helping out local survivors by taking out and controlling zombie populations. Walkers are also kind of coolly not considered more of like your traditional stat block monster where you're just like trying to kill them all one at a time, kind of like how your other games would do it, but they're more like an omnipresent environmental threat that have sort of a set value from 0 to 6, depending on whether or not they notice you. And that's actually kind of very cool. And the value can actually increase depending on as a response to you as the player in the environment. So like you're walking up a ladder and one of the rungs is rusted and falls to the ground, alerting the walkers around you, your threat level can increase. It's very cool to see what they've done. And with their success of the other adaptations they've done so far, it's very interesting to see what they'll do with this one. Especially when they sort of recreate that sort of feeling of that oppressive post-apocalyptic. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens.
Me too. What do you guys think? Have you played any of the other games in Free League's repertoire? I know a bunch of us here have played the Alien RPG. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I've played Alien. I have not played Blade Runner, but I have talked about it with a couple of designers on it. Um, I love Free League just so much. They're just so cool.
Yeah. I've played Tales from the Loop by them, and that's a really fun one as well. They're very good at rules light, but intrigue and environmental like role play heavy kind of games, which it's very fun. Really like what they do with some of their more original stuff as well.
I have played not played. I've seen Walking Dead, but I've only really seen the first season. And I started it actually this year. I gotta say, I was never really like a zombie guy, but Walking Dead has not too many zombies. It's not very zombie centric, in my opinion. It's more about the drama and like the people are more of the issue that you have to deal with. And I love role playing and role playing games. Like that's like my go-to role as like the face of the party and stuff like that. So I think, based off of some of the other cool stuff Free League has done, this is definitely going to be something people are looking forward to.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to like the sort of complex human stories that you can tell in a setting like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Bonsai, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say I have the One Ring, and of course I played the Alien. What I really enjoy about Free League is that a lot of people don't mention their art booklets for it is so good. So it's
Their
like,
art's
yes,
so good.
I own the books in there, and yeah, I really like narrative, kind of like narrative first and fail forward kind of mechanics they use a lot of the time. And so I'm just excited to see what The Walking Dead is gonna look like, especially if they're gonna be based more on the comic book or the TV show. So it's hard
Mm,
to see.
which came first? The show came first, right?
Nope.
Well, the
Comic
comic book came
The
first.
The
comic.
comic book came. I'm shocked. I did not know that.
One of the things I'm amused by this press release for this game is how they're just like, yeah, you can do all sorts of things. You could be like a Robin Hood type group where you can help civilization or rebuild the world. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. I'm robbing everybody. I'm about to be Negan.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Well, good luck with that. I guess we will have to keep our eyes open for when this releases to see how it does in the wider market. But let's move on to our next headline here. A little bit of Games Workshop news. It looks like they have just announced their new Warhammer kill team, Salvation. So, with this new kill team, this is going to showcase a series of skirmishes between the Space Marines and the Eldari. So, for fans of the Eldari or Space Marines, congratulations. There's a bunch more content, more minis, more terrain, and book tokens for you to set out onto your table. This set comes with 2 armies of 10 Space Marine scouts and 10 striking scorpions. Not real scorpions. That's just a very fancy name. That these Warhammer teams, they never actually describe exactly what they are. They always have to have something like the Ravens or the Black Tears, or I don't know. I made those up, but that's probably something that's been in their long line of miniatures in the past somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. The box set also contains 5 pieces of Mechanicus-themed terrain, as well as an 88-page Kill Team Salvation manual and set of data cards and token sheets for each army. So you'll have everything you need to pull out your Salvation army onto the battlefield. Check out the link in Twitch chat. Thank you to Jeffrey Dome Sanchez for bringing this article up so we can tell people about the new Warhammer stuff they can get their hands on. Looks like the pre-order is coming in just a week on December 23rd, 2023. So you should expect to see your minis available at your local game store in just a few months. Let's go ahead and move right along into our next set of headlines here. Bonsai, would you like to tell us all about the new developments in Hasbro this past couple weeks?
Yes. You could say this is a different type of kill team going on right now. But in an unfortunate time period. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have made the joke. I'm really sorry because I'm sorry. But
No, that's good.
in any case,
Marcus, keep
Chase
that in.
Carter. Chase Carter, thank you so much. Chase Carter Dyke Streakers, thank you so much for bringing this to attention. So if you happen to be following a lot of people on the site previously known as Twitter, people have been slowly coming out that Hasbro announced that they will be laying off 6 of their workforce across the company. There was a lot of initial hope / speculation that these cuts would only affect Hasbro's losing divisions like the entertainment, and nobody from the WotC division would be affected. Unfortunately, a number of WotC employees revealed that they were laid off. That includes a lot of prominent and formerly prominent employees. Mike Merles and Mike Merles, who's the co-lead designer of 5th E before quietly moving on to Magic the Gathering. And then of course Rob Sather, the D&D art manager. It's as I know, I'm sorry I made the joke earlier, but I fight sadness with humor a lot of the time, so forgive me. But yeah, what is it called? I'm just gonna go ahead and take this quote for these things that a wise man once said about these layoffs. When they are unnecessary, they aren't just mistakes, they are a failing of character. So my heart does go out. I'm sorry, dark humor on my end on that. And I really hope all of these, especially a lot of these artists, creators, I hope they do find a soft landing wherever they go. And it's a lot of really talented people that they're letting go, unfortunately, but I'm sure that other companies are going to be whoop really quick to catch up. And of course, it is poor timing, I think. We can all agree it's a little poor timing 2 weeks before Christmas to be handing all these people the sadness card on that end. So what do you all think?
Yeah. Honestly, Bonsai, sometimes you have to joke about these things because it's the only thing that keeps you from crying. Because these are very tragic loss for WotC, but a boon for the community in a lot of ways. Sometimes there's a lot of very talented people that are now open on the market.
Yeah, a lot of these folks I'm friends with, and it really kind of sucks on a personal level to see right before Christmas, folks that you care about trying to figure out what's the next step, what's the next move, especially when their hard work add so much to so many people in the hobby. Um, so there's that side of the thing. There's that side of things. Um, I'm just gonna tell y'all what I told some of them, which is this is the dumbest move I've ever seen a company make. Right now, fifth edition has more competitors than ever, and they're coming from legitimate sources. You've got Cobalt Press making their own version of 5e. You've got MCDM showing that there's a hunger for for more varied types of tabletop games. You got, my former employee, Evil Genius. There's just so many people right now in this field making honestly more interesting and varied versions of what Hasbro's been coming out with. And the thing that made D&D special were the people behind it. And now they're up for grabs. So, enjoy your $9 million a year as CEO. We will enjoy the creativity you've given back to the space.
And I don't know, maybe some people that are still with Wizards of the Coast might want to maybe think about starting a union.
Well, in any case, it's not all bad news in the industry. Right now, we have another headline from Bonsai herself, actually, with some good news. Take it away.
Yeah, so I wanted to sandwich the bad news, but now we're gonna bring it up. Roller coaster ride. Whoop, roller coaster ride to the positive news. We got, Games Workshop with an extra large Christmas bonus this year. Thank you, Sarah Butler from The Guardian, about this. So last year, if you guys didn't hear, Games Workshop, they really are more of like, hey, let's share the wealth as we go because it's everybody who helps makes this company. Last year, they gave a lot of employees $1,000 bonus. This year, after a great year, they saw like profits rise 12%. Games Workshop announced that they're awarding all the staff, this is designers, retail employees, support, warehouse workers, a 20 or like 32 or say $3,200 Christmas bonus or 25 or 2,500 or two, yeah, 2,500 pounds. Yes, math. And this is Games Workshop apparently does this regularly. Like I said, last year they did 1,000. This year they're stepping up because of that 12% increase. They're like, you know what? It helps to make the company. We're gonna solidify our foundation to make sure people keep doing this, keep doing quality work. Maybe some other companies can learn by this and spread the wealth throughout all of this. And I just wanted to give like a happy face to that. And so they will be getting a nice, hefty little turkey this Christmas. Goose. That's what I wanted to say, goose.
Yeah, this is cool to see. I'm a big fan of Warhammer 40K, Kill Team, Age of Sigmar. They've been putting out a lot of stuff this year, and they did a really good job of catering to the specific stuff that people have actually been looking forward to for a long time in their releases. So, spreading it out with their model instead of just, doing the same thing over and over again, they just improve on it little by little every year. And it's really nice to see that they don't have to, do a bunch of crazy crossovers or marketing stunts or anything. They're still making really, really great progress in their company. So this is awesome.
And the fact that this bonus goes down to retail workers as well is incredible. It's not very often that you hear a company that's actually good to their retail employees,
Yeah.
like from bottom to top.
I just like that they're giving love to also the people in the warehouse as well.
Yeah.
Because you're stacking, you gotta, staff.
Warehouse employees always usually get the short end of the stick from experience.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Noir, why don't you take us into our next headline here? It looks like there is some more news about the Dark Souls board game.
Yeah, we're talking about Dark Souls, and this time we're not talking about the ones in boardrooms. So, Dark Souls, the board game, the Sunless City will use the revised rules born out of a collaboration between Steamforged and members of the community tapped to fix the bevy of balancing issue bugs and sluggish guff attached to the experience the studio kickstarted in 2017 to the then record-breaking tune of 5.4 million. For those of you that recall, and we've covered this story when it happened, the original Kickstarter for this game came out and it had some issues. So now we're bringing it back as a board game, and I think it's really cool that the community helped fix uh, a lot of the issues that the TTRPG had because it had a lot of them. Two box sets heralded the revised edition of Dark Souls tabletop edition, based on Gravelord Nito's realm and Painted World of Alarmist. Unfortunately, Steamforged pared back the components and gameplay content included in each box while selling each at a price of £20, shy of the original £160, adjusted for inflation, of course. The quality of miniature map tiles and cards took a baffling hit in the production issues plagued nearly every facet of Matt's copy of the board game. So we've got a new game coming in that's fixing a lot of the issues that the original had, with this time much better figures, much better content, and for one, I'm excited to give it another try. The original board game was, I believe, £109. There is no word just yet on what the new board game will be. Hopefully less. I think in order to earn a little bit of goodwill, Steamforge is probably going to do the right thing and make it a bit cheaper, but we will see. Um, Dark Souls, the board game, The Sunless City, is now available for pre-order from Steamforge's website through January 31st, 2024. Retail launch in hobby shops and online stores are expected to open February 14th, just in time for Valentine's Day. So there you go. Have any of you had any experience with the original Dark Souls TTRPG game or the Dark Souls video game?
The video game, yes, but not the tabletop. Because I was like, oh, yes, it's gonna be good. But then I saw the reviews and I was like, oh, maybe I'll take a step back and wait a bit until they maybe it's like they have to patch their tabletop game before I go ahead and invest in it, kind of thing. But I have hope. Sometimes people just mess up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's hard. Dark Souls is a hard thing. Like, a lot adapting video games to board games is hard. And I like that they tried to take a stab at it, and hopefully they kind of like figured out a little bit of the bits and bobbles and took like what the community said to heart and fixed what the problems that they had first with it.
Yeah, I think it's always kind of a good idea to, if you didn't back a Kickstarter and the Kickstarter game is coming out, to see what the backers say first before jumping in. So I definitely feel you there. Anybody else?
I tried playing Bloodborne, which I'm told is a baby version of the Souls games, and I still got my butt whooped good and thoroughly. So that's a I feel like I get my feelings hurt playing the board game.
I think if the board game lets me kill a bunch of monsters, I will have no complaints. I just like hordes and hordes of things to fight, rolling dice or playing cards or whatever it takes. As long as I get to beat a bunch of monsters, I think I'll be sold pretty easily. Looks like that's all the time we have for that headlines. We're gonna jump right into our next one here. This one comes to us from Jeffrey Dome Sanchez of ICV2 once again. Looks like there is not one, but 3 different Exploding Kittens games coming to retail. Now, that doesn't mean that we're getting 3 different versions of Exploding Kittens. That's just the name of the company because that one game was so successful they were able to make a bunch more. So if you've ever heard of a game called Happy Salmon, a game about, well, trying to do a bunch of different weird actions in order to accomplish goals, and I mean actions as in real life actions, then Hoppy Salmon might be the game for you. It is the seasonally themed version of Happy Salmon for Easter. This new version comes with some new card art, some new actions as well. So instead of uh, uh, doing a bunch of high fives or bowing a bunch of times or any of the other stuff, you might be doing some like bunny ears or some wacky stuff like that. It's a fun, silly game, and it's great for like when you need to like kill time or do something really weird with people who are like super drunk. It's really fun. Or you could play it with your kids and your family. That's also an option as well. This game is titled Hoppy Salmon and plays in about 90 seconds. So it's a really fast game, and it should arrive in retail in about a couple months. Just February 23rd is in fact the slated date. Next up, we have That Escalated Quickly. This is a new version of a game called Top 10 by Cocktail Games. It was actually nominated for a Spiel des Jahres in 2022, last year. So in this version, you're still putting together a group of absurd things, and you're trying to put them in correct ascending order according to people's preferences. It's awesome. It's super fun to sort of figure out how you think your friends uh, act or think themselves, or in vice versa, having them sort of figure out what you like best, what's in your top 10, or how you would rate these random different things. It plays in about 15 minutes, another quickie, and it's going to hit hobby retail in March next year. And finally, on this list, we have I Want My Teeth Back. This game was actually previously announced as part of the line of kids games from Exploding Kittens. In this game, Neef the monster has lost his teeth, and you are tasked with trying to collect cards and using a spinner to get Meef's chompers back up to par. It's a very cute looking game. It's got some very tactile pieces and a pretty large box, but it only plays in 10 minutes and is rated for ages 4 and up. So definitely a big family game. Could play 2 to 4 players all together. And if you like wanted to be a dentist but like failed at it or like quit or something like that, here's your chance to really dive in with your family. It's going to retail, it looks like, for $19.99 if you want to get your hands on a copy. So there you go, a bunch of new games to add to your wish list. Let's move on now to our final headline of today's episode with Anita. And it looks like there are some new Epic Encounters box sets for
Yeah.
fans of the franchise.
Yeah, Steamforge has announced a few new Epic Encounters box sets. One of them is up for pre-order right now. Two are available for sale. So currently, the Local Legends box is up for pre-order at $39.99 MSRP, and with it, you can actually build your own taverns. Very cool way to sort of add some more flavor into your campaign. And the other two that they have are a Savannah Knoll pack. It's a 5e warband that comes with about 20 different Knoll figures. It's a big old pack of Knolls. MSRP for that one is $54.99, as well as a Knoll War Seeker, which is a big chonker, 100 mil Knoll figurine for a cinematic boss battle. It comes with an illustrated game mat, an encounter book, and tokens, and that one is retailing for $49.99. But the build sets on, I think we mentioned this with Dark Souls, is because it's also a Steamforged product, but Steamforged always comes up with some really good builds and interesting looking figures that always add like some really fun spice to some of your games. I know we've got a red dragon here that's really cool that we own in our house, and a couple other ones. Noir's gonna run to grab a couple of them to show you. And like the Epic Encounters boxes always come with like fully statted out villains and everything, and it's really cool. There's thank you. This is the Shrine of the Kobold Queen for the Epic Encounters that Noir is modeling currently.
Noir, famously a big fan
This
of
is
kobolds.
I like that you're playing Vanna White to my Pat Sajak here. I appreciate that.
This is excellent. It looks like a really big box.
Yeah, they come with like really
This
big
is the
boxes. They come with
second
like
biggest we got, but I wish I was getting paid like Phantom White.
listen, same.
All right, well, this sounds excellent. I definitely can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for bringing us this headline, Anita. Um, that's going to do it for our headlines today. But folks, we have a very special interview coming up later in the episode with Catalyst Games' own Rem Alternus. So stick around to meet with Sarah Kraus just after these next few sections here. But first, we have our bundle boss for today, and it just so happens to be Anita. So let's take it away, Marcus.
For today's bundle of holding, we have Mongoose Traveler. Traveler is it's a really interesting game where you are playing people in sort of a spacefaring civilization. The player collection is in this bundle is starting at $17.95, which comes with the starter set, the Traveler Companion, and the catalog update. And it's a very interesting game. You actually start off character creation by building out a person from like young adulthood through their entire career. And through rolls of the dice and chance, you have different career events that actually build out and stat your character. I actually had the chance to do a playtest of this not too terribly long ago, where I built out basically a pirate queen while another one of our players in the playtest barely made it off of the planet just through good and poor dice rolls, respectively. But yeah, it's very fun. It's very good, and I would definitely recommend checking this out if you're very interested in spacefaring kind of games. Um, uh, it's everything you need to play any science fiction campaign. It's got a really cool shipbuilding system as well that's very interesting, and I definitely recommend it if you get the chance to check it out. And for $17.95, it's actually pretty good because the retail value on that is, I believe, $100 US. So great deal. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Um, I don't know that anyone else has actually had the chance to play this yet, but I'd recommend giving it a shot.
Bonsai definitely seems to have played at least once. No, uh, thank you, Bonsai, for letting us know about the dangers of character creation.
Sorry, my
Yeah.
dog is barking.
Oh,
No, you're all good.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Anita, our wonderful bundle boss for today. Let's see here. It looks like we are going to roll right into the crowdfunder court, where we will learn all about the crowdfunders of the week.
Welcome to Crowdfunder Court. Here come the judges. Prepare to be judged. All right, court is.
Hey, how's it going? So, we're doing Crowdfunder Court, and I've got something for you. It is a TTRPG made by Free League. I've already told you how I feel about Free League, called The Electric State. It just hopped on Kickstarter December 5th, and well, let me tell you what they have to say about it. Thanks. Let's see. This is a new TTRPG based on the internationally acclaimed narrative art book The Electric State by artist and author Simon Stalenhag. Soon to be adapted into a major motion picture by the Russo brothers. You might know them. They directed a little film called Avengers Endgame, starring Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry, that was an honest reaction. Uh, but this is a TTRPG that takes place in a dystopian future that is absolutely freaking gorgeous. There's really no other way to kind of describe what this looks like. You have to see the art for yourself. Um, it's all about traveling from one place to another in this really dangerous and dead world, and the relationship that you build along the way in search of survival. This gives me a The Mist feel, if any of you are familiar with the film. And just knowing that with the impending sense of dread and the dangers that are out there, I think you're gonna get some really interesting stories. So if you're into that kind of vibe, you got 4 days left of this Kickstarter. They had a goal of $24, $24,000, and they are already at 333,000. So, listen, it's Free League. It's a very new and interesting setting, and it's going to be a property that's getting a lot of attention once this movie comes out, for good or worse. So get in on it while you can. Uh, I'm backing solely on the strength of my love of Free League. But what do you all think?
It's also, to tag onto that, it's also a sort of expansion on the world that was built in Tales from the Loop and the sequel book as well. It's sort of a continuation of that what if world that they've built in along those books as well. So it's like the natural progression and then the decline, and the artwork for it is incredible.
Ooh, so
It really
good.
is
So
cool.
good.
I
It's
was definitely gonna agree with you there, Anita, because immediately when I was looking at the pictures, if you hadn't told me it was called the Electric State, I would have been like, huh, they really like messed with Tales of the Loop and like changed up a couple of pictures or something. But no, it's just its own thing. This is really cool.
it's yeah, it's the same artist
Oh,
that did both of those as well.
yeah, that makes perfect sense. It looks like spot on. But I will say this is a little too creepy for me. I don't like to picture the guy with a giant uh device on his head, like standing in front of a telephone booth, just in the middle of nowhere, screaming into the. That's just really unsettling. Almost as unsettling as
Yeah.
the giant ducks just sitting abandoned in the middle of a parking lot. I don't know
Or
what any of
just
this
the
stuff
group
is.
of people gathered around that one central figure, just like in worship. It's weird and it's creepy and I love it.
Yeah, okay. Got it. This is all you, Nor.
Oh yeah, this is definitely like, this is just it. There's just looking at every piece of art in this. There's just that unspoken sense of dread, and you can't pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. It's just everything lends to the sense of I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what else do we have on our docket for crowdfunder court today?
I have a question for the court.
Ooh.
Does the court like to party?
I'll allow it.
Does the court like pandas?
Sustained.
Does the court like pirates?
Overruled. I'm just kidding, of course.
It is Party Panda Pirates. It's a game that is inspired by, from the creators of Dodos Riding Dodos. It's inspired by Mario Party. 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up. It is a game of, it's got some really cute miniatures. It's a dexterity memory game, and it looks like a absolute blast. Each player plays a different panda pirate. Sometimes they're raccoons, sometimes they're red pandas. And each one is sort of based off of like a different character. Like one of them kind of looks like Luffy from One Piece, and one of them looks like Captain Crunch. They're adorable. And currently the retail price, or at least the retail edition, is on the Kickstarter for $29. But if you want to upgrade to the deluxe edition with these beautiful looking little figures, that is $85. It has currently 6 days to go, and they've already reached they've crashed through a whole bunch of their goals. They're at 118,000 of their $10,000 initial goal, and it looks like a really fun game. And I definitely recommend it as like a fun little party game for folks who want to like play a board game where you're pandas who are pirates who are trying to party. It looks like a great time, and I'm very excited to see, very excited to back this and check it out.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Anita. I particularly like this quote from Professor Meg that says, "This is a game that I enjoy." A stellar endorsement.
I love that endorsement.
Let us now welcome our newest guest and welcome the one and only Rem Alternus, Sarah Kraus.
Yeah, hello. So, Sarah, very excited to have you. We've got so many questions to ask you about all things Catalyst, Rhythm Alternus, Shadowrun, the whole shebang.
Hi, am I here?
Yes. There we go.
I'm working on it.
Okay. So, folks, we're dealing with some tech gremlins, as is to be expected. But don't worry. Oh, there they go. They're just all over the place.
Hi.
Hi.
We've defeated the tech gremlins, and now we're back.
Success.
So hello, Sarah. We have so many questions for you about Rim Alternus, about Catalyst, Shadowrun, the whole shebang. But first and foremost, we just want to say, hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm excited. Look at all of you. There's so many, and I've seen you all peripherally on Gen Con TV. I'm a little overwhelmed.
It's no worries. We don't bite. Most of us, at least. But so first, I want to say congratulations on Rim Alternus. You guys have had a stellar, just amazing couple of months going here. You had a live show. You had Matt Mercer on, just out here doing the dang thing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I joined Catalyst last March, and I've been a groupie for a really long time for Shadowrun, and I just hung out long enough that they were like, "Are we paying you yet?" So I became marketing, and we had a great opportunity to partner with Realmsmith for some Shadowrun, and they had a stellar cast. We got to do a session 0 live on stage at San Diego Comic-Con.
Wow.
I got to play with some of the Critical Role actors. Emily Swallow from The Mandalorian. This was her first ever TTRPG. She got to play Shadowrun. And then the special appearance by Mercer. Like I think I must be a halfling because I have the luck quality. And
no kidding. And Catalyst is making some major moves here as well. Reprinting some of their old works. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, we were just at PAX Unplugged and announced all the cool things that are coming for 2024. So it's the 35th anniversary of Shadowrun. So we're re-releasing first edition. And we're really excited about that. You get to see where it all began. A lot of people still have their books and they're falling apart. So this is a chance to get a new one. And we're really excited about that. There's going to be a Shadowrun minis game that comes late this summer. Yeah, that's going to be great.
Watch your back, Warhammer.
We've got some actual plays, some podcasts. We're not done with Shadowrun by a long shot. And then BattleTech, it's the 40th anniversary. So we've got a lot coming. There's the Mercenaries Kickstarter that did $7.5 million last year. That'll be fulfilling. So that's wild. There's all kinds of new force packs and maps and special anniversary edition stuff. There's a universe book that's going to have like all the lore that you might need for a new player. There's even going to be a little bonus book in the special edition of that has like authors and artists from the past 40 years that all write like what has BattleTech meant to me. So that's going to be a really cool thing. The book, when you open the book, it makes a popular BattleTech sound and music. So BattleTech has big stuff, and then our new board game division and new RPG division is going to be huge. We have a partnership. I feel so white saying this.
Uh-oh.
We have a partnership with Snoop Dogg and Master P.
That's
so
awesome.
Snoop Cereals is going to have a board game.
That's so cool.
Okay,
and God, what else? Kung Fu Panda, we have a game coming. There's a super secret one we haven't announced yet that's going to be in partnership with Paizo that we're going to announce. And then for the RPG division, there's one we haven't announced yet. It's coming in the next couple weeks. But the one we have announced is there's going to be a Voltron RPG.
Yes! I mean,
Oh,
that's
nice.
cool. That's
Nice.
Nice.
Love that.
So we're a little busy.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it's
Yeah,
super cool. I lucked out. I joined at a really cool time.
I mean, like, I guess my question for you after hearing all this, Rem, is like, are you taking time to breathe? And because this sounds like you're getting the water hose, like just full on blast. Hope you're ready for it.
I travel once a month for Catalyst pretty much, and then I own my own company, Rem Alternatives Productions, too. And so we do marketing and run Kickstarters for publishers. So like Kevin J. Anderson is my client. Monster Fight Club is one of my marketing clients. We've done the BattleTech Kickstarter was contracted through us, and so we have 6 Catalyst Kickstarters planned for next year, and we've just been growing, and I'm really grateful to Catalyst because like my company moved forward years faster than it could have on its own. So I'm very lucky.
You would say that they were the catalyst for this change.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna have to
God.
go.
Aw.
Yeah, you know, listen, they're just a guess right now.
Yeah, they're not with us. We don't know them.
No, seriously, I've got one question that it's completely a selfish question, but I just have to ask it. I love Shadowrun mainly because of my experience and time with you guys. There's so much about Shadowrun, so I was just wondering, are there any plans to come out with like a digital aid or assistant, like a D&D Beyond type format for Shadowrun? Because
So
Mhm.
that's a good question. Definitely trying in the past with the Realmsmith stream and now the 35th anniversary, we're definitely trying to make it more accessible for beginning players. I really recommend the beginner box from 6th edition because it's got quick start rules. So
True.
if you don't know where to start, it's like it kind of gets you into the game as quickly as possible. The other one that I really recommend, and this is what we did for the Realmsmith stream, was Shadowrun Anarchy. It is a rules light system. So you can still play in the world, but it's way more cinematic and plot points and stuff like that, where you can you have a little more freedom to do all the things you want to do without having to learn a really crunchy system.
I'm gonna take that advice to heart. Again, Shadowrun was always daunting, but after dipping your toe in it, there's just, you can do anything and everything. So
there's so much.
Oh my God, there's just so much.
Honestly, I recommend, because I'm role play. I am not a crunch person, and I played for years where I was like, tell me what to roll. I do not care. Just tell me what to roll. So take your time with it. There's so many books, so many supplements, so many rules that really just like play how you need to play. And we've got so many resources. We've got a demo team. We've got actual plays. We've got a lot of communities that are willing to help. And if you don't understand, like I still don't understand decking. Computers are magic to me in real life. So in a sci-fi futuristic world, it's just Woo!
Listen, I was always an
same
adept
here.
myself when I played second, third, and fourth edition. I could not handle decking.
Yeah,
I-
it's
with all.
it's
Oh,
a
go
lot.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say with all this this Shadowrun talk, what is your favorite character choice? Are you more of a street Sammy or
I'm
no?
a mage.
Amazing.
Oh, nice.
For me, what I hated, so I love telling this story because it tells what a hypocrite I am. So I was lucky enough in my first group playing Shadowrun, we were playing D&D, and one of the players is one of the writers for Shadowrun. So he put us in one of the books, like our whole group, and when our D&D campaign ended, he's like, I'd love to run this cyberpunk fantasy role-playing game for you. And I'm like, that sounds stupid. Like I did not want to do it. I did not care. It's my whole personality now, so I'm a big hypocrite. But for me, what really kind of started drawing me in is it's our world with magic. And so like to be able to play a person on Earth with magic
So cool.
Yeah.
was that was the
The
part where I was
lore.
like, ooh, I'm in.
The lore in Shadowrun is really cool. After the Second Awakening, it's all like I just love how it even ties back to the very first book. What was it? Earth Dawn. Uh, like that whole lore continues on into Shadowrun.
Yep.
Are there any plans to release Earth Dawn as a re-release?
No, because FASA still has it. So
Okay,
there's been,
that makes
it's
sense.
funny because Russell Zimmerman is one of the writers for Shadowrun, and he's written for Earth Dawn, and he's dropped little Easter eggs periodically that like insinuates that maybe there's still a connection somehow, but like you have to know what you're looking for to go find it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so not at this time because it's a separate company and separate license, but
That's fair.
but yes, I love that you've played and gotten familiar with the lore and stuff like that because there's so much you can do with it.
It's very lore rich for sure.
You know, Rem, for a lot of people in our audience, this might be their first time. I mean, this definitely not our audience, right? Like, Gen Con TV veterans are definitely watching you, but for some people who just tuned in for the first time, this might be the first time meeting you or like getting to know what Rem Alternus is. What would you say is the philosophy behind what you guys do?
Behind my company and what I do is I wanted to create a safe space for gamers to play, learn, grow, stream. We started with live streaming. And so we've done like a predominantly Black cast of D&D. We've done an all LGBTQ plus cast. And we really try to support communities and diversity. It's one of the reasons that that Peter picked us for Gen Con TV is he looked at our content and was like, I love the diversity. And we want to play with people that have unique stories to tell. So
that's so wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, I think we have time for one more question if anybody has one.
Oh, I got one unless somebody else would like to take it.
Nah, go for it.
All right, so a lot of amazing things are happening for both Catalyst and Rim Alternatives. I was wondering, what would you like to see? Where would you like to see both of them go in the coming future here? What would you like to make happen for both of these companies?
Gosh, my heart has been in no, I thought of a different answer. So Rem Alternus's first ever project was a Kickstarter for a live action cyberpunk fantasy series. There's a trailer on YouTube called Chicago Shadows. And to be able to actually get the license and bring that to life would be incredible. For now, it is generic, totally not Shadowrun. Cyberpunk fantasy. But there's been some interest this year in perhaps continuing conversations. I've because of my travels, I've been able to meet a couple of film industry people and the Realmsmith people. Like that cast is so well connected with nerddom and Hollywood and stuff like that. So there's some preliminary conversations that we'll see what happens maybe someday.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rem, for joining us today. We are going to wrap things up in just a minute here, but really quickly, where can people find you? What kind of products do you want to shout out before we go?
Sure. You can find us at Rem Alternus Productions on Facebook. We don't really do Twitter anymore. Instagram. I'm on Facebook as Rem Alternus. All the social media posts that you see are pretty much me. I'm on the Catalyst YouTube channel fairly frequently now, and especially at cons, we stream from the booth. We have a Discord server. We have, anywhere you really want to find us, that's a safe space. You can find us. So
Awesome. Any cons coming up soon that you're going to be at?
the next one is GaryCon. So
Gary Con.
I'll be there. I'm going to be the only Catalyst person there because everyone else is going to be at Adepticon because of BattleTech. And I'm like, no, I want to go play RPGs.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much, Rem. It's such a pleasure having you, on the channel with us, on the stream with us today. It's been awesome. Thank you so
Please
much.
come play with us. Play Shadowrun with us.
Yes, absolutely. You got me.
Awesome.
All of us would be happy to join you, I'm sure. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap up the show today. Rem, why don't you go ahead and stick around with us? That's going to do it for Table Takes today. But folks, don't go anywhere because coming up next, we have some more #joyful gaming around Sarah's table. Today, Sarah Moore and friends are going to be playing A Very Northern Christmas. Will Sean Bean make it to the end of the Netflix holiday special alive? Will the curse be broken? Is Jeff Goldblum a vampire? Find out in A Very Northern Christmas later today at 5 p.m. Pacific. For those of you who maybe don't know our streaming schedule, on Mondays at 9 a.m., we have Peter versus the Machine. And on Tuesdays, we've got Indie by Night at 7 p.m. On Wednesdays at 4 p.m., we've got Path of the Brush. And at 6 p.m., right afterwards, Actoroki. And of course, I would never be able to forget, on Thursdays at 4 p.m., we've got Roll with Rem Alternus. Then you can join us right back here the day after on Fridays to do it all over again. Thank you so much to Steve Connor and Tanel Lovett for making us look so good. Thank you to the viewers for hanging out with us and being super helpful in the chat as always. And thank you to all of our fellow hosts, Noir Enigma, Bonsai Baby, and our special guest today, Anita. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Special shout out to Marcus Mays, our producer, making sure all of the technical difficulties in the background are minimized as much as possible. We would not be able to do the show out yet. And remember, folks, follow us here on Gen Con TV for more of the best 4 days in gaming all year long. Or check out the VODs here or on YouTube 24 hours later so you never miss an episode. That's going to do it for us this week. Sorry for my blurry camera. I am very sick of it. I'm going to have to ask for that for next Christmas as a new camera. I'll see you guys next week for some more Table Takes. Bye-bye.